yesterday brought another Mitt Romney flip-flop, this time on abortion. Let's listen to what he told the Des Moines Register.
There's no legislation with regards to abortion that I'm familiar with that would become part of my agenda.
Then, shortly after the interview, Romney spokeswoman Andrea Saul said, quote, Governor Romney would, of course, support legislation aimed at providing greater protections for life. A little confusing here to interpret the many moods of Mitt. Our Democratic strategist Penny Lee and editor of the blog Conservative.this.chick, Wright. Welcome to the show. Okay, so is he flip-flopping now on abortion? Because I recall earlier in the year 2012, maybe January, February, he said he would like to overturn Roe v. Wade. Am I right?
Absolutely. I mean, this was a man who in the primaries ran as the severely conservative candidate. Severely conservative. And now we have a little bit more of the moderation.
Yeah, you know, I do not remember Mitt saying that he's going to overturn Roe versus Wade. In fact, I remember him saying that he's going to let Roe v. Wade stand. Mitt, nowhere in that soundbite that you showed me, and nowhere on this on the debate stage has said that, oh, I'm all of a sudden pro-choice. He is not pro-choice. He has said that he's against federal funding. When he becomes president, he's not going to allow federal funding to go abroad and fund abortions. That has been consistent.
Isn't he also planning to cut Planned Parenthood's funding?
Yep, I think he should, because
even though no federal funding is being used for abortions. Wait a minute. No federal funding is used for abortions at Planned Parenthood.
Well,
that's a fact.
We actually don't know that.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
And there's a thing called the Hyde Amendment that is current law. Do you people on the right not believe anything that we say? Can I finish? There have been many critics of Planned Parenthood. No, I do believe some things that you say, Joy. But some critics who have examined Planned Parenthood's funding, so there's a fuzzy area where they're not exactly sure that the dollars aren't going to fund abortions.
Well, let me finish.
Let me finish.
After audits.
Planned Parenthood can survive without federal funding. They've said that they can survive. I guess they would just be doing less money with federal government.
I don't know that it would be easy on poor women if they had.
I think that they
could do a lot of other services.
Remember mammograms as well, right? And the Susan G. Komen snafu over that. Yeah. Okay.
And yet another flip-flop, Romney distances himself from his 47% comments. Let's take a look at his interview with Wolf Blitzer.
What I'm saying is that what the words were that came out were not what I meant. And what I mean, I think people understand, is that if I'm president, I'll be president of 100% of the people. My campaign is about 100% of the American people. And so that describes why what was stated in the tape was not referring to what kind of president I'd be or who I'd be fighting for. Instead was talking about politics.
So has he evolved on this topic?
Again. No, I don't think once again, because if you really want to talk about evolution, Barack Obama said he was going to cut the deficit in half and change Washington as we know it.
Well,
and he's done neither of those things.
He tried. I mean, there is a Congress.
We should give him 4 more years to do it. But back to Mitt. I would not have apologized for the 47% comment.
You wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't have. I think what he should have said, and he said that, we didn't see the whole interview, you showed a clip out of it, but he went on to say that he's trying to appeal to the 50% of Americans who he knows is already going to vote for him, and he said it, I think, inelegantly, because I think many American people.
But many of those people in that 47% are seniors.
But
those are veterans.
18% are actually seniors, and one out of six Americans are receiving
so he was actually going
some
after
form
one at a time.
Yeah, let me just finish. 1 out of 6 Americans are receiving a government check. I think most of the American people want to be proud again. Everybody's excited when they work and receive a check. You are, I am, right? Don't you like getting money for work?
I do.
And I think.
But I also was on. But you know what? Wait a second. I was
yeah.
also on unemployment insurance, which helped me get a leg up.
Too.
Okay, so temporarily people need a little help sometimes.
Yeah, and he's not saying. Mitt Romney has never said in any interview during this campaign that he is for getting rid of the safety net.
Well, then why does he say, I'll never convince these 47% that they should take personal responsibility and care for their lives?
Because I think some of the 47%, again, what I was trying to say earlier is I think he said that inelegantly. I think a lot of people, some people, a good portion of people who are receiving government benefits don't want to get off of them. And you know how I know this? During Hurricane Katrina, but wait, I just want one important point. During Hurricane Katrina, do you know that we had 3 generations of black Americans who had been on public assistance? That's not something to be proud of.
Maybe
I'm
they
just
have-
saying, as a
maybe
black
they-
woman,
you know
I'm not.
what?
I don't think that's something that
You know what? I have
Democrats or
sympathy for
Republicans.
people. Maybe you should get a little sympathy for
I have
people. Maybe they
sympathy, Joy.
couldn't. Maybe they didn't have a choice.
3 generations is not progress. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know, sometimes, you know, things happen
I
like
agree.
that in generations. Go ahead.
No, I would just say that my mother is part of that 47%. She is a person, you know, in her 60s. She right now is fighting a brave battle against cancer, but she's doing that because of what Medicare has provided. It has provided her the health care that she has needed to be able to go and fight this brave battle in what she's doing. She's part of that 47%. She is conservative, and she was highly offended by that.
Let's face it, that was a bad thing he did.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. I think it was, and I would not have backtracked off the comments on Wolf.
Come on.
Well, that's how I feel.
Come on. All right, let's look at something else now. The Obama campaign is bringing out the big guns because here's a clip of the big dog, Bill Clinton, yesterday.
I had a different reaction to that first debate than a lot of people did. I mean, I thought, wow, here's old moderate Mitt. Where you been, boy? I missed you all these last 2 years.
He is funny. And the way he does it, you know, he's got that
He's
good
got the
old boy
swag going.
yeah. I mean, you know, how do you respond to that?
Oh, there is no one better. I was actually with President Clinton on Monday night, and he was energetic, and he had that crowd just alive. And there is no better person out there that can distill the argument in a very simple and concise way. And what he has actually said is what we talked about earlier: is this again is Mitt's problem. He is a hollow individual without an ideology, and he will say anything.
I don't know what to believe, truthfully. I'd like to be fair to him.
Again, I just, you know.
But he goes back and forth. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
I think it's funny that President Clinton is teaming up with David Axelrod now to say Mitt Romney is totally reinvented himself and he's lied. That's the Mitt Romney that we should have seen 6 months ago. And the American people have spoken. The polls are up for Mitt because he has a message and it's resonating with the American people.
Okay, so you're more of a moderate Republican
I'm
then,
not,
I would say?
I don't like labels because I could ask you, Joy, are you a moderate Democrat?
Not
Many people would
always.
say that you're not. I consider myself a conservative, and that's how I don't like labels of moderate because we don't apply the same labels to Democrats.
Okay, but then I'm afraid that really Tea Party Mitt Romney that we saw months and months ago is going to come roaring back if he wins.
I think Mitt has been consistent throughout the entire campaign with his message. And if he wasn't consistent, the American people, the polls, you know, but what's funny is that
consistent is not the word I would use.
But listen, he on tax, where was he lying during the debate? Tax reform, he said he's going to cut taxes across the board for 20% of Americans.
Penny?
Yeah, but he also sat there and said that $5 trillion. Oh no, I didn't say that. And then he went.
He didn't say he didn't say it. He told the he looked at the president.
Wait, one at a time.
In his interview afterwards, he goes, no, I never said $5 trillion. That is fact. That is what the cost of his economic plan is. And he then, when you say, well, how are you going to pay for it?
Tax policy
details.
First of all, that's been, and when he looked at President Obama and he said, we'd like details of what you're going to do to fix the country, Barack Obama stood up there befuddled and stupefied. All these questions you guys are asking, Mitt Romney has answered the questions. On the tax reform plan, we've had economists from the American Enterprise Institute in Princeton who have debunked the Tax Policy Center's analysis of Mitt Romney's tax plan. And the Tax Policy Center admitted that they speculated. They made up a lot of details.
Isn't he going to do the same thing Bush did? I mean, isn't he going to do the same thing?
No, he's not going to do the same thing.
Oh, really? How's he going to be different?
He's trying to cut our government spending. He has a Medicare reform plan that, guess what? It's not about vouchers. It's about premium supports that, oh, by the way, members of Congress currently take advantage of premium support. Penny, how come nobody's talking about that?
But they are. They're having an
but Barack
absolute
Obama,
robust,
what is he going to do to stop the spending?
You asked her a question.
$16 trillion. No, but I'm just saying.
Question.
I don't see answers to any of that coming from your guy.
There's
I know it is funny.
There is plenty of answers that are happening.
President Obama also went after Mitt Romney. Let's watch that.
Just last week, when we were on stage together, Governor Romney decided that instead of changing his plan, he just pretended it didn't exist. What $5 trillion tax cut? I don't know anything about a $5 trillion tax cut. Pay no attention to that tax cut under the carpet, behind the curtain.
Okay. So what 3 things would you say he hasn't flipped on, Romney? What hasn't he flipped on?
He has not flipped.
Where has he been
on,
consistent, as you use
right,
the word consistent? Like
reining in our government spending, creating jobs. He actually has a plan to create jobs.
Really?
And he put a number
how
on the
is he
table.
going to do it? I thought the
12
government
million
can't
jobs.
create jobs.
Excuse me, you asked me. I'm trying to give you the answer. 12 million jobs he's been consistent with promising, and tax reform and Medicare reform. Last thing, I don't see anything coming from President Obama, but more the same. And that's why the American people, did you know 70% of independents felt like Mitt Romney won the debate? And Mitt Romney is surging across the board, even among women.
I know, we'll see.
But
It's all
but
we don't know
again,
until the fat
But I
lady
think it's
sings.
funny, whenever Mitt Romney surges, it's always we'll see, and we
I would say there's an important question to be asked. Who won the debate? Yes, absolutely. I would agree. Mitt Romney won that debate. But if you ask the follow-up question is, that was more on stylistic. I mean, he was actually strong, and he was. But does that translate? And if you look at the battleground, if you look, let me finish. If you look at the tracking polls, yes, they have tightened, but he still leads in the key battleground states.
That is not true.
Yeah, absolutely.
The poll
it is
that
true.
came out today, Romney is ahead in Florida, North Carolina, and Colorado.
Yeah,
so
but
you're
he
just
was,
not
but he
being
was,
honest.
but he was
Penny.
prior.
You're not being honest.
He was
So what?
So
Okay.
Obama was ahead like 2 weeks ago, so now Romney's ahead.
I think we'll see.
I don't worship at the Shrine of polls, do you?
I take
election day.
The only poll
I don't worship at the Shrine of polls, but I find it really interesting that before Mitt Romney pulled ahead, Democrats and the mainstream media were really worshiping at the shrines of all these polls.
When we come back, Ann Romney spent this morning guest hosting over at GMA. So, was it a good morning for America? We'll find out next.